Chelsea Football Club have passed the test. Chelsea Football Club are able to register 25 players in the Champions League squad. 3 different things are to be taken away. The first one, Buonanotte, has been left out. I'm going to tell you why. Colwill has been included. People are saying how he's out for the season. And Lavia and Joao Pedro are not on the list. Are they excluded? No. I'm going to explain the procedures of what happened. Then I'm going to explain to you why Chelsea are allowed to register 25 players rather than the 22 that was suggested if they failed their check. On top of that, it's a Brazilian takeover at the break. Chelsea Football Club at the moment have 3 Brazilians. Estevao, Santos, who a 70 million euro bid was rejected late in the window for, and 5 times the salary. We're going to talk about that. And finally, Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro is coming out and talking, and the way he's talking is absolutely proper Chelsea. He's talking about his relationship with Parma, his ambitions to win, and more importantly, he's talking like somebody that knows he's the main number 9. This whole myth about he has to be a 10, he has to be a winger, he will get moved around to get the lap in the squad. No, he's the 9. We're going to break it down. We're going to get into the little details. Bratucci, I need a favor from every single one of you though. At this moment in time, you should have hit the like button. If you haven't, support the channel. It's free of charge. Hit it. It's paying your rent. You do it quickly. Secondly, if you're new to the channel and you like Chelsea related news provided in a short form within 15 minutes, this is the channel for you. Trust me, people watch and we always get above 55% retention rate. So the Chelsea squad was announced and there were 25 people on the list. Why is that important? A lot of people are going to ask. Because Chelsea got fined by UEFA for breaching their rules. So there are like FFP rules that Chelsea breached purely based on how much revenue they make, how much the percentage of their money went on transfers, wages. Is very boring. What we need to know is Chelsea cleared it, so it enabled them to not get fined for next year. And more importantly, and I think the biggest one of all, we're allowed to register 25 players. So 8 of those players have to be homegrown, and the rest can be players that weren't developed in your academy or were not labeled as homegrown, like foreign asset. And this is where it gets interesting, because the goalkeepers were Sanchez as well as Jurgensen, no surprise. We had at fullback Gusto and James, Cucurella and Hato. Centre backs Badiashile, Fofana, Toussaint, Chalobah, Levi Colwill. A lot of people are like, what? Levi Colwill? Levi's not going to be back for a while. We're going to talk about that. Joao Pedro, not on that list. Furthermore, in the midfield, Asugo, Santos, Enzo, Caicedo, Palmer. No Lavia. A lot of people are melting down again. They're like, where is Romeo Lavia? I know he's injury prone, but he should be on the list. There's a reason. I will explain. The wingers, Gittins, Neto, Estevao, and the final one, Garnacho. No Buonanotte. He was left out, and this one is a little bit sad, and we're going to have to talk about it, but it's just the way the world works. And finally, the number 9s, Mark Guiu, Delap, and what's his name? Joao Pedro. Almost said Jackson. He's not around no more. So, what does this mean? First of all, the reason that Joao Pedro, Tyreek George, and Romeo Lavia are not on the list is because they're in the B list. They are players under a certain age and over a certain age. So if you're above the age of 16 and under the age of 21, if I'm not mistaken, and homegrown, you can go on the B list, meaning you can have as many players as you want. I think it's up to 15 or more on that B list of young players that have been developed in your academy under a certain age so they can be used in UEFA competitions. That's why they weren't put in. So you can relax about that. Josh was not slandered. Robert was not slandered. They were not excluded from the squad. One thing that really triggered people, they were like, are we rushing Colwill back? What are we doing? So what I did was I tried to apply some logic to it. First of all, if Chelsea did not have 8 homegrown players registered, what would end up happening is they would lose that slot. What does that mean? It means they wouldn't be allowed to put 25 players. They would only be allowed to put 24 because the person that has to be registered is a homegrown player. Chelsea don't have many outside of Levi Colwill. So Colwill was added for the sake of it. Then if Colwill's fit, Colwill obviously can play in the second stage. And also, and I think what's critical is in January, if we get through this stage, which I'm hoping we do, you can always add 3 more players. If Colwill's already on the list, you don't need to add another one on. I don't think this is telling us that Colwill's going to be ready before January, so do not get excited. Colwill got an injury in August. The prognosis was an ACL. Earliest you can return to training is 6 months on. That is from my experience of not being a doctor, but from just watching football. It doesn't mean that you return and you start playing football. It means you start training. Usually, it's 9 months. After the 9 months, you need to start warming up. So Colwill's most probably going to be back in training in April. People started saying, well, that's when the latter end of the Premier League and hopefully semi-finals of the Champions League. Yeah, but you need to get up to speed. Normally after an ACL, it takes around about 6 to 7 months before you actually start being yourself. And the best example I always use about that is Emerson Palmieri was absolutely brilliant. Got his ACL, came to Chelsea, first year struggled. Same thing with Rudiger. Rudiger got his ACL, came to Chelsea, really struggled. Just was not the same player as the one that they acquired initially. So you need to give them a little bit of time to just recuperate and understand the difference in their body. So for me, do not rush leave out Colwill. I think this was a tactical decision just to optimize the squad roles and to enable us to have 25 players on the list rather, and if there's something miraculous happens and he gets added on, brilliant. However, this is where it gets very interesting. Buonanotte has been left out. This does not go down well with a segment of Chelsea fans, because what has happened is Buonanotte in his introduction interview was saying he can't wait to play for Chelsea. He can't wait to play in the Champions League. He's very excited, and not to be registered is a little bit mad, right? It is. Psychologically, I can imagine how frustrated he is, because in his head, he was joining a huge club where he was going to make an impact on the biggest stage of them all. He's a young kid. He's got aspirations, he's got goals, and all of a sudden, those goals that felt like we were so close have just got pushed back. The thing is, Chelsea can only register X amount of players. Who did you want them to leave out? Garnacho, who they just put £40 million for? Gittins, €55 million player? Neto, Estevao, Palmer, Joao Pedro, Delap, Gil. Who are you leaving out? You're not leaving out any of them. And that's the key. There are players ahead of him in the pecking order. He was acquired to be a bit part role player. I don't care how good his comps are. I don't care how excited we are about him. He hasn't trained with the team properly yet, nor has he played for Chelsea yet. It would be stupid to include him over any of the names I've mentioned. What has happened is we are now doing the desperate fan thing, right? You've acquired a player, so what we're going to do is religiously back you until you give us a reason not to. And what we're forgetting is this is a loan player. Don't fall in love with a loan player. He's going back. We have no option to buy. We have no obligation to buy. What this means in the long run is if he does sick, Brighton are going to charge us an arm and a leg. If he does terrible, we're just going to exclude him. There is no basis that Chelsea should be developing this kid. He is there in case of an emergency, and I think it's as simple as that. People will not like that, but they have to respect. The players are now back. The Chelsea players are now at the international break, and what has happened is everybody's gone and been very relaxed. Everybody's going and doing interviews, and Joao Pedro is not any different. So what has happened is he's been called up to the Brazil squad. Massive honor. Brazil, as a football nation, is historically, as a kid, you look at it, you go, oh, Brazil, straight away, right? I don't care what generation you were born in. Brazil is just got this allure about them. Being their number 9 must feel amazing. And the reality here is, yeah, he's caught in an interview and he's talking about his ambition, how much he feels privileged to play for Chelsea, at the privilege he has playing for Brazil. And there are a few quotes that are absolutely brilliant and have just are exemplifying why this individual is the right fit for Chelsea Football Club from head to toe. Number one, he talks about how when he first came to the Carabao Cup, he had discussions with Enzo Maresca. Maresca told him, you ain't a 10, you're a 9. You're going to be someone that links up play, you're going to be someone that scores goals, you're not a conventional number 9, you're not the type that you see historically, you're someone that's going to be able to get involved, score goals, be a focal point, and for me, this is the spot. I'm seeing a lot of people make valid claims about, oh, he's a 10, he can play there. Of course he can play there, no problem. He can even play left wing if you want. But guess what? He's going to play in the 9, right? He scores goals. He's dangerous from corners. He defends corners well. He's a good defensive outlet from set pieces coming in against us. He applies physicality. He's strong. He's smart. He needs to be playing in that 9 role. I don't even think it's a discussion. He's a 9. He wants to be a 9. The gaffer thinks he's a 9. His mum thinks he's a 9. He's a 9, right? Furthermore, he spoke about his relationship with Cole Palmer. And he said, look, coming into the team, I knew Cole's a superstar. And this is Cole's team. And one thing I wanted to do was introduce myself to him because I'm coming to help to win. But I'm coming as someone that is the face of Brighton's team. It was my team. I'm here to contribute. And what was nice about what he said was, I'm here to join and help Cole, but I am not here to play Batman, Robin to his Batman. I am here to be the main man as well. And we are going to win. And there was one quote where he said, I want to win Premier League. I want to win the Champions League. And this year, that's what's going to be a success Thank you. The fact that these players are not coming out with, oh, it's a title race, we need to make sure we get into the 4th place first and then look up. No, no, no. The mentality is you're at Chelsea, you win trophies. I don't care which trophy it is. Carabao Cup, Intertoto Cup, UEFA Cup, Europa League, Super Cup, Coca-Cola Cup, whatever cup it is, you better be winning it. Audi Cup, Malta Cup. You go and win it. And the fact that they know it, I love it. This is what I want from my team. And what was beautiful is he spoke about how Cole can make him better, I can make Cole better, and together we're going to make Chelsea better. It's all about winning with Chelsea. Gusto spoke about the right stuff. Colwill spoke. Reece, Joao Pedro, and Joao Pedro has an aura. And I hate that expression because it's so overused, but you look at him and every bit of him reminds me of the way Didier Drogba used to hold himself. And I know that's a huge compliment, and I know I might be saying too much, but you know what? Didier used to speak with the confidence where you look at him, you're like, broski, this year you've only got 9 goals in the league, but you believe on any given day you're the best striker in the league. Joao Pedro sits there and talks like, not only does he believe he's the best striker in the league, he believes he's the best striker in Brazil. This is what we need at Chelsea. We need that irrational confidence. And once that irrational confidence comes, what ends up happening is you elevate your teammates and you basically tell them, you either keep up with me or you're not good enough for Chelsea. Cole Palmer has it. Reece James has it. Cucurella has it. Enzo Caicedo have it. They set standards. Joao Pedro is another addition, and this is what I wanted this summer. I wanted another goalkeeper and a centre-back of a similar mould, you know, 23 going into their prime, because that is their new prime, right? A lot of people say we talk about 27, 28 is not in modern day. Modern day football, 22, 23, 24, 25 is your prime. These players start playing at 16. By the time they hit 22, they've already got like 150 games under their belt and they're ready to go. Lamine Yamal, what you're going to tell me Lamine Yamal's going to keep getting better until he's 28? The likelihood is the kid's going to burn out by the time he's 28. He's 16 years old. He's already played nearly 100 and something games. You know, like in 2 years, he's played over 100 games. He started at 16. He's 18, but maybe 19. He's going to end up playing by the time he's 22, 300 games. You can't overload these players' bodies. The bodies don't change, right? So the reality is their prime is just going to become at a younger age. Look at Max Dowman, 15, already playing. Ethan Nwaneri, playing 16. Rio Nagamoa now at Liverpool. He's already being introduced. Their prime is going to come at 22, 23, 24. This is the new prime. And Joao Pedro is now reaching his prime, in my personal opinion. The final thing is regarding Andrey Santos. Look, Santos was somebody that has actively, in my opinion, been in the news far too much this summer. What was the fear among many fans, including myself, was that Santos was going to come back from Strasbourg, and when he came back from Strasbourg, it would have been one of those things where he would have got resold. It would have been viewed as an easy profit margin. It would have been, we got UEFA issued, you're going for 60 million euros, 70 million, Bayern want you, PSG want you, there's no pathway for the kid. He wants to leave. What ended up happening was Romeo got injured. So Santos played more than he needed to, in the sense that to prove to him that there's a pathway. And now he's a vital member of the squad, to the point where on transfer deadline day, there was a 70 million euro bid from a Saudi Arabian club, and it was rejected. And Santos was offered, I think it was 8 million euros net to go, which is 5 times more than what he's making right now. He said, no thank you, I'm staying at Chelsea, and committed his future here. What is also evident, Chelsea have, we know for a fact, rejected an offer from West Ham, which was around about 45 million pounds. PSG and Bayern Munich have been sniffing. Look, is Santos ready to contribute on a weekly basis? Most probably, if you give him a chance. But is he ready to definitely contribute off the bench? 100%. He is cover for Enzo Caicedo in both positions. This is why I didn't want Fermin Lopez. If you bring Fermin Lopez in, all of a sudden, Santos's role is diminished. He is no longer the first bench player off the bench. I believe Enzo Caicedo, Lavia Esugu, and Santos is going to be our midfield for at least this year, and next year there's going to be demands made from one of the players. If Lavia doesn't stay fit, no demands will be made. However, it is an exciting time. We've got so much talent, so much competition. I can't wait to see what these players develop into. Because like I said, competition breeds better results from everyone. If you're not ready to fight for the Chelsea crest, you're not welcome at the Chelsea. It's as simple as that. A lot of people won't like that. It is the honest truth. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also I've got the ranking of the latest Chelsea transfer window. What I think happened, what was good, what was bad, and what was downright ugly. Go check it out. Peace out. I'm out. Bye.